Welcome back, everyone. It's Jason with your Hopium-Free Crypto channel. Hope you're having a great Friday night, Saturday morning, wherever it is you are. Let us know in the comments section. And if you do want to comment, make sure you've hit subscribe. I've just got the note down right here. Subscribe to the channel. Then you can get over to the comments. We're trying to get rid of some of those trolls who are just posting a whole lot of nonsense. All right, I hope you guys are well. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you let me know if my sound is off. I feel like I've got it right this time. Should be really good. And we're on with the show. So looks like we are crashing down yet again. Anyway, I guess you guys can see that. Basically, what we're looking at is trying to protect the position. So what I've got in the title today, we're looking at, cryptos are crashing. It's just a continued thing. It's been down day after down day after down day. If you've been following for some time, fantastic. You would have noted that the main thing we're looking at is holding our position, holding some cash. And if we need to buy because our fingers are itchy or they're burning, the money's burning holes through our pockets, then we're just looking at buying Bitcoin. So I've got that today as well. We've got the Bitcoin fear and greed plan because our fear and greed is at 15 today. And this is probably one of the most annoying ones, the ones that I'm like, I don't want to buy today, but the plan says to buy. And some people will say, well, just don't do it. And I'm like, well, this is a plan. We're going to stick to the plan and just see how it works out because we're testing. Remember, we're testing this plan. There's no selling point at just yet. We're going to come up with that. And then I also asked on Twitter if you guys had a different idea that you wanted to adjust the plan. Most people were saying they wanted to find a way to buy in more often. And I'm like, no, that is personally, that's completely the wrong way to go about it. Everyone's like, well, look, the market's stabilized. We need to adjust the metrics so that we can start to buy when the fear and greed is higher because it's starting to flatten out. I'm completely the opposite. I was looking at, let's look for a sell point to sell, cut our losses, and then wait for the market to fall further. I want to protect my capital. Other people, new investors, want to dump their capital into the market quicker. This is how we lose more of the money quicker. All right. So we'll have a look at that. I've got a bit of an idea. I'm going to put that together. I want to just spend a little more time on it so that it's a bit more complete. So when we bring it to the show, we've got it's just a bit cleaner, basically. Cool, guys. You're looking good. Where are we at tonight? Some people saying it's past their bedtime again. Sorry, Rob. But yeah, let us know where you're at, what time it is. Let's have a look at the first charts. And I want to go through the morning routine. Look at the market caps, look at the fear and greed, look at whether we're buying or not. Check out our portfolio, our demo portfolio on SwiftX. You can find a link to all of this. Everything I'm talking about is in the description down below. And then we're going to check out the charts and Twitter. So let me just check my screens. Yeah, they're all good. Fear and greed. Our plan. Dashboard. Excellent. Okay, let's share. All right, coin market cap. So you note that I don't check the news first. Not even remotely concerned about checking the news first. The news is noise. If you go to news channels first up, it just blasts you with noise. So I always avoid the news channels first, and I want to go and look at my charts while I've got a fresh mind. The news, absolute waste of time to look at first. Obviously, my opinion, that's why you're here. Okay, we've got a 1.275 trillion. We're beneath that halfway point. Bitcoin, 31,400. So we've dropped beneath our $600 billion market cap. ETH at 200 billion. Remember our dominance, 46% BTC, 17% ETH. We're going to look at the dominance as well. This is just part of the crypto cycles. Bitcoin first, then some majors. This is the way it moves. So when people are talking about what's cheap now in altcoins, what are we going to buy in altcoins? It's just another way to waste money when the specials continue. look at this, 24%, 24 hours, Bitcoin's down a touch, and a lot of these are down a lot more. Obviously, we're not going to look at the stable coins. That's just a given. But ETH down a couple of percent, BNB 3%, Cardano 4%, XRP at least hit, but it hasn't done much this whole bull market cycle. Dogecoin 7% hit, Polkadot another 7% hit. Some of the big stuff is Theta at nearly 9, ICP still getting crushed. It was just a stupid buy at the top. This thing came out, everyone's super excited. $700 I think was near the top, and now it's down to $30. It's like something coming out on an IPO. It's just getting released to the public, retail buys it, smart money dumps to them, and it's the same story. So don't forget that next cycle, it's going to keep happening and happening. It's happened for decades, centuries. The stock market's been around a long time, century and a bit. It's happened ever since. So just don't get sucked into that thing again. Matic down 7%. This is nearly at the low from May. After it shot up 200%, faded all the way down. People were saying it's the best thing ever. Matic's still going to be great. I could see that on the chart, and I was very patient. I did not make the 200% from the bottom to the top, but I dare say the vast majority of people did not either, because they got suckered into thinking the price is going to go higher, and it was our only safe cryptocurrency. And right now it's very close to the bottom again. It's 23% down on the week. CRO's having a little bit of a climb, 11 cents. It's really trying hard, especially with all that good news. And it's unfortunate that a lot of good news for CRO came out during this bear market. But come the bull market again, I think we're going to be pretty solid on CRO. Lowest points are coming up. New dad. That's why he's become so careful. All right, now let's look at the fear and greed. Cool, we got 15, which means a purchase time. So let's go to our Bitcoin number. It's at around 31,400 on the open. 31,376. Let's have a look. 31,300. All right, so 31,380. We'll call it somewhere in the middle there. 390, doesn't really matter. It's a rough number. 31,390. Actually, let's get the exact. Sorry, it's only a few bucks, but I want to keep it nice and simple. It was the open of, I believe it was our Binance chart here. 31,383. Cool. We're going to buy another 1,000. 8 is the 17th. And just got to work out the number there. We're going to do a percentage on that. So we're going 31,383. 0.031864. Cool. So we now have $11,000. The price is now 31,900. We're down 7%. This is on our plan. BTC, we have a total value of Bitcoin of 10,200. The total Bitcoin we hold is 0.32. So we almost hold 1/3 of a Bitcoin. So this is the average prices that we've been buying in since the big crash on the 19th. So we got it on the 20th at 36. And so my thought was to sell out at a crossing of a support level and then wait for some lower prices and start the process again. The flip side to starting the process again is that we'll get it at lower prices, but who knows where the next buy and the next buy and the next buy and the next buy would be. It could just be straight down and straight back up again. So that's one thing we've got to weigh up. The patience here is, look, we're down 7%, but it's better than being down 20% on altcoins or 40% on other altcoins. It's just the safest way that I see at this point in time in the market, if we need to be burning holes in our pockets, but also if we want to be starting to dollar cost average into the Bitcoin market, which again, I think is the safest market at this point. And we'll have a look at that on the Bitcoin dominance. 46%. People were getting concerned about the Bitcoin dominance as it started to drop through these levels. So just as it was dropping through early July, they're like, oh, this is over. Look, we had a little bit of a reversal here. Let's see. It's still just trending in this little sideways period. Ideally, let's get above these highs of 47, 48. I don't want to really start to see this thing break down, but these would be the lows that you'd be getting concerned about right here at 41 and say, well, maybe it is time for the altcoins to start to move again, or maybe it's going to all swing into stable coins now. There's a few more pieces to the puzzle that we got to weigh up. It's not just leaving the market, or it's not just going into altcoins. You know, it could just be going into stable coins. So looking at our plan on SwiftX, 20% from where we got in. This was, we were playing across, say, Chainlink. We had DOT in here just a week and a half ago, and I've sold out of those. So I saved about 20% on those. I mean, it maybe saved us a few $100. This total started at 13,000 Aussie dollars, 13,200. So we're down a couple of grand on, 2.5 grand on this portfolio. This is a demo that you can use on SwiftX in case you're sort of wanting, you want to get a play with the market, want to see how the buys and the sells work, but you're just too scared to put some money at this point, or you're just waiting for a better time. This is a nice, clean way to play with it. That sounded bad. Let's move on. So yeah, we've covered our fear and greed index. We've covered our plan. We've done our buying. We've got our average price at the moment. We're looking at our portfolio done. Charts. Let's have a look at some of these others which have absolutely gotten crushed through this period. The market just refreshed, so these are going to look not as bad as they were an hour ago. But some of the main ones that I saw were Matic. Matic. Absolute sad case. So I've got some more alerts further down, and then this is the big spike into that low of 74 cents, 74.5 cents. We're getting awfully close with not much volume coming in. So I would suspect it to keep going. And then I'm looking at sort of that 40 to 60 cent level to see what happens there, because I'm not just going to start buying at a price if the market keeps falling. Like if you can't see a low here, and you know, if you're new, spend some time to learn how to read like a support and resistance level and just see where it looks like it's starting to form a base. And if you have no idea, maybe just check back on the charts and just see where it looks like it's starting to form a base and see if you can figure out a pattern of how that looks. And so right now, I don't see that on many of these altcoins, which is why I still haven't been buying. And I would say I'd have to be one of the main people online that are saying not to buy, whereas a lot of people are saying, what altcoins are cheap? What are we going to get into? I'm just not that interested at this point. Support 70 cents. I just want to see some volume. But Matic has been dramatically down. This was the 200% move up to the highs, 220, 230 odd percent in a few days. I was getting roasted for not buying Matic. That was a good trade. 1, 2. You had to be in and out within 3 days. So in and out in 3 days. I have a friend that was in and out in 3 days and made a killing on that. But most people that I would have heard having a go, probably not, because you can just see it from the volume here. It's just they would be holding, getting desperate, selling out at these lower points, and now they're down almost 67%, 66.97. But I dare say we'll probably get a little closer to this low, possibly break it. The main thing we're looking for, remember, volume. Volume is the lifeblood. So I'm just waiting to see some volume come into this market here. Matic BTC also struggling. There's the low at 2,300 Satoshis. And we've just started to break down again in a faster fashion. So this was just trending, but now we've got this move on. So I would think we might get a few days of quick succession down that would really start to potentially be a capitulation point. We can see that in the market where we just sort of trend, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, we just dump really hard. And then we have a little bounce back. So we'll probably get a little bit of a dump going on and then a bounce back. So percentage down from the rebound, 57, 58% down on our Bitcoin value, which is pretty bad. That's why I continue just to hold Bitcoin. Sure, my Bitcoin will go down in USD value, but at least I'm not trying to negotiate a whole lot of other altcoins going on here and just watch all my BTC absolutely get crushed. I think Matic will probably keep coming further and further down. I'll throw another couple of alerts in here. We'll see if we get that pass through the 2000 level, 2300. And this happens over time. Like, I don't expect this to happen tomorrow. And then I also don't expect it to go straight down to these levels of 800 sats or 1000 sats. Could almost see it bounce up again, test some highs and come back, maybe break through and test highs. And, it's just a matter of watching the chart. But you can see these support zones. Just simple support zone. And this goes across all of the altcoins. I'm going to watch for those. I'll put some alerts in here as well. Let's see if it breaks through the 17 into our one of these first zones, and then the next zone back here. But this could, like I said, take time. The other flip side to this is Bitcoin increases. That's part of the cycle. Then you're probably not going to expect to get your Bitcoin value back that you saw in May. Look at that, May 19th, all-time high. Matic versus BTC. That just means that the Matic USD price might go up, but you're better off just holding Bitcoin because it's not going to recover to these top levels. The only time here is that to increase your Bitcoin holding and increase your USD holding even faster is to buy at these lows. You want to be buying at lows when it goes up, because then it's going to increase in Bitcoin and in USD, which makes that move up even quicker. And you can see one of the worst performers of something that I've talked about and something that I hold is Chainlink. One of the absolute worst performers. These are the times that we were buying. Well, I was buying was in these lows of December into January, and then also again at these lows in March. Nothing much happened, and now we are all the way back to these lows in March. So it's pretty much a break even on the Bitcoin holding. So through that bull market, whatever I was holding or whatever anyone was holding in Chainlink is basically no better off now than it was 6 or so months ago, which, that's not the returns that we want to get. Chainlink had these highs in August, and I can't see them coming back to those highs. Yeah, I can't see Chainlink at this point in time ever coming back to that Bitcoin high. So until this gets to some support level, turns around, that's probably the point that I would then use Chainlink to increase my Bitcoin holdings. But for now, it doesn't look like such a great hold against Bitcoin. Same deal for ETH. Look at that. It's just been down since its high in August. These are the buy areas, so it's broken through and it continues down. It just hasn't really found too much support yet. It's finding some support at this previous low at the moment, but I dare say it'd probably come back to these levels should ETH go up as well. That's what I got there. We had a look at we've gone through some of the altcoins just to have a look at the bleed. Like I talked about, probably the best thing we can do there is to be in Bitcoin. Coming back to your comments here, the best thing I can see is to be in Bitcoin. Yes, we'll have a look at some Cardano, and then having some money on the sidelines, following a plan of your own to be able to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. What we've seen in previous cycles, what we've seen plenty times before, is Bitcoin moves first, then some of the alts follow, majors. Some of the sectors now, we're seeing like NFTs start to move and DeFi starts to move, and we've seen some of the NFTs take off, like AXS. And so those are the ones we might get some Bitcoin value. But if Bitcoin rises, then it's going to be very hard for their BTC value to maintain or increase, which is probably why it's a good way to sell out of those, take your Bitcoin, and then hold that. All right, I see a lot of comments coming through about what do you think of Luna? What do you think of DOT? What do you think of this, that, the other? I dare say if you got a question like that, they're pretty much all going to be very much the same. If you want to comment, make sure you've hit subscribe. Subscribe to comment. It's just another feature of YouTube that I've been able to put on. Turn that on. Yeah, I mean, cryptocurrency is up in the last 12 months. Some of them are going to hold their position a little better, but others are just not going to get there. And when we look at their Bitcoin value, should Bitcoin continue up, then they're probably going to lose their Bitcoin value and then Bitcoin's going to be a better hold. I did a video on this specifically showing how, like, it was a Bitcoin versus Ethereum video. And then it shows how the tops of their Bitcoin pricing, so ETH BTC, it's never made it back to those tops. So buying at the low is a good idea, but not buying them at any price. That is them altcoins. Is not buying altcoins at any price is not a great idea. Now, that might not be in some people's best interest. You know, they want you to trade, so they're going to be telling you to be buying altcoins. But if you want to preserve your capital, then that's the way I would be looking at the charts. And it doesn't matter about the news. Does not matter. Just look at where the money is actually going, and the money will the charts will tell you where the money is going. Why don't you show us the range instead? What are you talking about? Which range? Trading view settings. All right, I'll bring over. What settings are you talking about? All right, so maybe some people are wondering why I have white. I can bring you some colored candles if you like. So I use white bars on here. I know people are like, why are you telling us again? You've been following me forever. I know. Thank you very much for following, and I've explained it heaps and heaps of times. Some people are new, so I'm happy to explain that. I don't use the candles. This is why I started learning how to trade 11 years ago. It was bar charts, using bars. I used color, but this software doesn't use a Gann swing chart style colored bar. So I would have green, red, and black bars, but they don't do that on here. And it's a specific software called Optima. They have it. Profit Source has it, but you got to pay like $2-3 grand a year, something like that. I think you got to pay $2 or $3 grand to buy it, and then it's like $50 or $100 a month to use it. And so I can kind of get what I want to get down here because I'm a macro trader. I'm not interested in trading very small time frames. So as long as I can see the swings, then I'm happy with that. It does what I need to do. To get these, and so I don't use the colored candles because the colored is just distracting. Like, I don't need it because it doesn't do what I need it to do. Color based on previous close. Like, do you use that? Like, you just want to look at, oh, is it green or is it red? Do you even understand whether it's the close of the previous day or the close compared to the current day's open? Does that even matter to you? You know, like, how is it going to affect your trading? That's the way I ask, and it doesn't. I don't need it, so I just put them on white. White because it's on a black background. That's simple. I simplify it as much as I can. All right, but if you want color, there it is. Yeah, that doesn't help me anymore. It just sort of, now it confuses, you know, there's color when I don't need that color. All right, so that's what we're looking at today, right? So altcoins, remember, patience, it's the biggest bitch for new people. I get it. Patience, patience, patience. And I mean, I've been saying that for nearly 2.5 months now. It's probably since April when we saw that tank. April, I was still like, maybe we'll get this other altcoin season, which will just take off. We didn't really get that. We saw a little bit of a run into May, and then that May top, I was like a broken record. It did not, Bitcoin didn't get to 60,500. I was just every day, 60,500, 60,500. Everyone's calling $80,000 Bitcoin because it was in their best interest to see this market continue up. But I was very concerned, and I was talking to the guys as well in the Investor Accelerator. They're saying, look, I'm starting to consolidate out of these positions. I know some of these cryptos will go down, the stuff that I'm consolidating into like Bitcoin and Ethereum primarily. So then I'm going to hedge myself with some stable coins, but I just want to make sure that I'm out of a lot of the small cryptocurrencies, the stuff that could tank 80, 90%. So, yeah, I'll get to it. We got through that. Safest way I see at this point, I've said that already, is like, keep watching the chart. Be patient. It sucks because you want to get some money into that market. I get it. But patience, really. Patience. All right. So If you want to see more, check out the link down below. There's a newsletter. It comes out once every 2 weeks, free. Okay, you just need to put your email address down there. Email address, name, free newsletter. Good report. We look at stocks, cryptocurrencies, and the markets. It's a holistic investment experience, I would say. We write the report every couple of weeks to go through those markets because we keep track of them. We have property in the portfolio. So when I say we, I work with my brother on this. This is the YouTube channel, but then also we have the report for the Investor Accelerator. He's got 5 or so properties in his portfolio. He's just renovated one. He's filmed that for YouTube as well. And so that's why we look at the property cycle to blend that in with the stock market cycle and also cryptocurrency to see where where we are starting to place ourselves within the grand cycle. You reckon AXS is finished? Dale Wisdom, you're welcome. All right, let's have a look at Cardano as well. Did you guys happen to see that Cardano video that I put up just a couple of days ago? Oh, entry points for Bitcoin in your opinion. All right, so I look at the chart. I've got Bitcoin. We'll look at ADA as well. Entry points. Guys, I mean, maybe you missed the beginning of the stream, and this one's not such a long stream. We're only 26 minutes in, but the entry points are on our fear and greed. Like I'm not keeping anything from anyone. There's the fear and greed chart. We talked about when we would buy using that plan. My entry points are similar to that in the way that I want to see big volume down. So I want to see like very scary days. This day is blood. This day is blood here on the 23rd. This day was blood, 22nd of June. So I'm buying on those major points there, but then I'm not buying through here. And if you're after like a price, I know a lot of people just give price, but then that price changes based on what you see coming from the market. I think you do yourself a disservice if you just set a price and that's it. Like, I've got a zone here because this is above this little support zone of 24K. But where's my thing here? All right, but if I see the market move down quickly and it busts through, I set a price at say 26,000 and it busts through that and keeps going, then that's sweet. Then I'm just going to wait. And when I see it reverse, then I'm like, okay, I'm happy to buy it here. Maybe it reverses all the way back to 26, but I want to see a signal. Like there was one signal. You don't know that this is going to happen, right? A lot of people said, yeah, I could have said that it's going to happen because it happened every other time before. But what happens if it didn't? What happens if it just bounced from here and then came back and sat on that? You'd be happy to buy it at 36 or 37K. So that's why I'm waiting for these, big volume, big range out. This was a telling sign. It tried. Remember, oh man, people were getting so worked up that day where we're going back to 45 or 47. It's very, very foolish to have that mindset because it's not flexible enough, in my opinion. It's way not flexible enough. So I'm waiting on signals rather than a specific price. I have price in mind because I think it could get to that range. And let's have a look at one particular range. Put it on weekly because I go into the macros. I don't have anything on this chart, so I'm going to clear it. This is just a simple fib extension. I'm using this range because this is an important range. It's called the first range out. And then we had a lower swing top. This is just Gann analysis. This is very important in Gann theory. All right, so I'm going to use that range. And you have to know where to use it. This is the swing top on the way down. There's a swing, another swing. Okay. You can see we've been held up at 50% and 61%. So that's a fib, but this is a Gann point. This is not a fib. So my next point is 100% of the first range out projected from the swing top. And now I would say that would be coming close to the end. 100% is at 23K. So should I see something like this, remember the volume is the lifeblood, happen at around this zone of 23. I don't know whether it's going to be this week or next week or the week after or the week after that or the week, like, I don't know when it's going to be. I have a bit of an idea, which I've already put in like every other video, looking at where I think there could be a bit of a bottom happening or forming, being later this quarter or next quarter. Then I will see that and go, okay, that's the time. But it might not get there. It might only get to 28, start to base out, and then climb back again. I'll go, well, hang on a minute, something's changed here. So then I'll just keep doing my, I'll be looking at my buy signals to be buying on breakouts then rather than on corrections. All right, so that's my explanation of, come on, Jason, entry points of Bitcoin in your opinion. That's the way I trade the markets. I'm not fixated on an exact number. Fixating yourself on an exact number is that's what new people do. No, I'm not trying to offend any new people, right? It's just when you come to the market, you go and look at one of those YouTube channels, 300K by September or whatever freaking price point by this date, because it gives you this feeling of comfort that knowing that you've got a date and a price in mind. It's BS. It doesn't work like that. What kind of trader doesn't look at candle open close? I don't know. You tell me. I look at bar closes. I definitely look at the closing price. The closing price is very, very important. Are you hodling? Bitcoin, definitely. And ETH, and some of the others like Solana and CRO. Let's have a look at ADA, just an update. Look at ADA, the dominance. It has fallen a little. 2.8. This dominance is coming down. ADA BTC coming down. Keeping an eye on these lows. If they get taken out, that's a bad sign. Not just specific round numbers, but specific lows, because that's where you would potentially expect traders to have their stop orders in. Where's this volume? So this volume started to dry up, and then we got a little bit of volume on the way down. This is just a downtrend, man. What else we got? ETH, Bitcoin, Doge. Look, I put this on Twitter. If you guys aren't following Twitter, go to Twitter. Come on, follow on Twitter. Link to this is down below. Where is my Doge post? It's so straightforward. Yep, bleed out. 13th of July. But I mean, we could see that from way earlier on. It's continued to bleed 4 days in. Doge BTC. I'm looking at that. Keep an eye on the lows as they get broken. Break again. Weak bounce. Break again. You got this area. Maybe you're going to get another, bounce out. But I'm not buying this thing. No way. I want to see how it reacts to this previous level. And then that would probably take quite a long time to bleed out through that zone. And then once it does, probably get some quick moves a little further down. I think we'd probably have to get Bitcoin moving up a lot in order to break through this level. But that's just, that's a long way out thought. Only because this is a Doge BTC pricing. So you need Bitcoin to rise in order for the USD price to rise on it. ETH, 6% of Bitcoin. Messy as hell. And it's continued on its, it's a downtrend here. I was just looking at what could this do, up or down. Had a little bounce in this zone. Holding up reasonably well considering the rest of the market, right? And USD is back under 1900. See that the bounces are just getting really small. Probably going to roll off again just like Bitcoin did. TVK was a big one that we're looking at and posted on Twitter about that as well. Look at TVK. Huge. Was that 200% move? Yeah. 200, a little less than 240. I think it was like 220% move, and we're all the way back down here now. This is how you lose money in a well, it is a bear market, but you can almost think it's a bull how much that had run buying these tops, and then you're down like 40% already. 40%, yeah. So the way I'm looking at this is I want to see how this bases out. That's how I start to form an opinion of where a good buy price is. This is a short, like a very sharp move, which is a good sign as well. You don't want to see it too much just bleed out and bleed out and bleed out. Like that's how these markets work. When they just bleed out for a while, it takes a long time, and interest is lost. But as we rise up on some big volume, get some short, sharp corrections, then that's usually an okay sign earlier on. We'll see this base out, and then we'll get an idea. Yeah, it's happening again on the dollar chart as well. Back to that support. So this could be a reasonable entry, I think. That's the way I'm playing this one. Not too far off the bottom, which is around 7.5 to 8 cents. We're sitting at 15, but at least we're not buying the absolute top again of this move, which was 26 cents. So yeah, I think it's a good compromise. You've seen that the market does still have legs in it. People are still interested. It's not dead. We've got good volume, but now we're just seeing it base out a little bit, hopefully hold the support. If not, then you think, well, something's going wrong. Maybe the big hands are selling out. Awesome. Sure. Fresh tuna. How do you keep yourself calm and collected mentally when investing? Always chilled out. I guess it's come from years. Like, look, even 2017, I was nowhere near as calm and collected. I was, I hadn't seen markets move that fast because I'm used to them. I'm used to trading in stocks or futures commodities like oil, gold, etc. And so they moved a lot slower. So it was a bit easier to keep calm then. But when these things are moving really hard, it was more difficult. Whereas now I've seen it so many times that it's like it's just another day. So maybe you can relate that to something in your lifestyle, like something in your life, I should say, that you've seen so many times that other people freak out, but you're pretty much cool, calm, collected, and then try to bring that experience across into your investing. Because I know at the end of the day that things will turn around. We'll see very similar patterns to what we've seen in the past, and then I'll know when to buy again. Hope that makes sense. I like those questions. Brandon, for the people that said they will buy up ETH when it falls below 2K, time is now. But funny how human psychology works. Yeah, totally. It could keep falling. That's what they say. That's the mindset you go through. This thing is going to keep falling, and why wouldn't I just wait? And it's like, well, what are you waiting for? That's why I try to explain. I'm waiting to see a low that I have seen before, whether it's a spike low, whether it's a rounding low, whether it's a long drawn out low of accumulation. And then it gives me a signal to say the smart money is buying. That's when I'm happy to buy. I can't give a specific price because the smart money hasn't given me that price yet. I'm waiting to see their move. Why CRO? It was something that I looked at a long time ago. Their business plan looks pretty good, like the model that they're doing, of course. They've got a lot of products out that I use personally, and they work well. People get pissy at their support, but you're in cryptocurrency. Things are very difficult at the moment to get the right amount of staff, and then things are super busy for a few months, and then they're not busy for the next year. Like, how do you balance that in your business? You just can't. Coming from 420. No, I've said that before. I do not like marijuana, pot, weed, whatever you want to call it. No offense to the guys that want to take it. You guys do your own thing. I don't, everyone has their own vices, whatever they like. Hookah helps also. Yes, that's legit. I don't own the license. My friend does, and I have one of the plates, and here's the other one. He's not going to put it on his dumpy little car. Potentially they do. Looks different. Yes, change the settings. I use 50%, 61, 38 primarily. Honest opinion on Neo. I wouldn't touch it. I used to, and I don't touch it anymore. I don't even watch it. It's look, this is an easy one for everyone. Everyone looking at old crypto. Wow, old cryptocurrency projects. Need to go for a stretch. Let's share my screen again. I've got plenty of videos on the channel to go into more detail. Look at the BTC chart. Look at the BTC chart. Dogecoin is going to be one of the very, very, very few exceptions. Legacy stuff, because what are you talking about? Neo. Neo's 2017. It was called Ant Shares back then, and it did very, very well, and then it died off. I feel like that's Matic. You know, Matic could do very well again, so I'm going to keep my eye on it. This looks exactly like Matic. Look at Dogecoin BTC, right? Look at Matic. I'm going to get to those other two. Oh, what do you know? You know, like it's the same thing happens time and time again. That's why I'm not interested in buying this thing until I see it start to base out. When things go hard, they come down super hard. Just think of all those drugs that everyone's talking about taking here. Litecoin is like your pothead. It doesn't know that time has passed, and next thing that happens is it's dead lying on the street. You know, like this thing is pumped up a few times and then it's just dead on the street, just in that gutter, rolling around, asking for another puff of someone's joint. I don't know. Like it's just dead, Litecoin. Let's have a look at Neo. Neo BTC. Oh, are we going to get Ant Shares data in this as well? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was still called Ant Shares back here. Maybe it was called Neo by the end of the year, but this is Neo. These markets, say Matic, because it's new, does have the potential to do that again. See, like this could be, for all we know, that could be Matic, right? Shoots up super, super hard. These were massive gains. And then it comes down and down and down. And then we get that next run in the bull market cycle, that next stage. And then we pump real hard. And then it's just dead lying in the gutter. You know, this looks like nothing. This was the bull market of 2021. From 2020 to 2021. While other things were doing thousands of % against their Bitcoin value, Neo managed 300% in its Bitcoin value. So that's something you don't want to be holding. And now you're barely better off than you were back in December, January, 100% up on the BTC. ADA would be another one that might be an exception to that. So this was the 2017 pump. This is Bitcoin. Remember, always looking at the Bitcoin chart, and we still have not got back there yet. That's what we want to see to know that the project is alive and well. ETH might be one of those projects that can do it. Doge is, out of my knowledge, Doge is pretty much the only project that has done it. Look at ETH. There we go. See, pump, another pump. This is on the channel. Go and I explain it in a lot of detail so you can really get to understand, so you don't lose a ton of money buying all these ridiculous altcoins, all these pumps. To get more BTC, you got to buy them at these lows, sell them at the highs. Sounds easy, but you now know that people cannot do that. FTT, waiting. ICX was the one I wanted to show you here. Check this out. ICX is Icon. You know, it's the Ethereum of Korea, South Korea. Neo is the Ethereum of China. Like, it's all those sort of sayings. But look at Icon, dead, just in the gutter. You're better off holding Bitcoin. People think maybe one day it could get back to these highs. It's like, do you understand what price this coin would have to get back to those highs? That's 3,000% return. It's at 70 cents now. And that's not just back to these highs. This has got to go like, what's 3,000 on 70 cents? I don't even know numbers to do that. 74 cents multiple 3, freaks me. What's that like? 30 times. Is that right? $2,000 or maybe a $200? You get the idea here. It's something ridiculous. Even if I was way off. Oh, yeah, I did 74 instead of 70 cents. Say it was 20. Yeah. Look, it's still got to go extremely high. That's the point I'm trying to make. Why aren't you watching news? Shutting down all B equals construction. So this is why we have the fear and greed index plan, because it's buy when there's blood in the streets, but you can only buy so often. You know, there's potentially a lot of blood in the streets, but when do you want to go out and pick up that blood? Alts. So if I'm looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum and stable coins, not including those, put those aside, BTC, ETH, stable coins, fiat, all that aside, and then go to the altcoins. Look, rough numbers, I have to check it to be exact, but it's definitely no more than like 15 to 20% max. I think it's probably even less than that, but I would comfortably say it's no more than 20%. No way. I don't even think it's 20%. But remember, that's I'm putting Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stable coins is not my altcoin portfolio. Talking about failed projects, have you looked into Dash? It's sad, isn't it? Not Dash would be another one. Ethereum Classic crushed. No, ETH Classic had a big pump. So this is going back to these legacy cryptocurrencies. It had a big pump on its dollar value. So look at that, right? So ICX would have to go up something ridiculous. Someone can do those numbers. I'm sure they have. They put it into the comment section. ETH, Ethereum Classic, one of Charles Hoskinson's projects, ETH BTC. Crushed. That is all that it was. And the US dollar did that. Okay. What price do you think Ethereum Classic would have to get back to, would have to reach in a dollar value in order for it to get anywhere near its old BTC value? It needs a lot. It's like 500% from where it is. So say it's $40. If Bitcoin stayed the same, 500% is another 4 times that. Are we somewhere on the same page there? You guys let me know. The point is, it needs to do a lot of work to get back its BTC value. But you can make some good money off the pumps from the lows to these periods. And then, you play it, turn it, flip it back into BTC. Could this go further? Sure. Could go. Let's see if it gets to the next highs or the next highs. But I don't like playing those odds. Two. If it did, great. I don't think so. We're at 31,000 now. Let's see what happens at the end of this dump. Let's see what happens at the end of this dump, and then we can reassess where that market would go to. Would you guys want to see a best case scenario Bitcoin video, which would be like Hopium? 31,000 and a half. BTC Hopium video. I don't use all the logarithmic stuff. I just look at my fibs. I just do it really simple, lows to highs. I've got a feeling, my projection in terms of my maths of using my fibs is around, by the end of the cycle, conservatively, could go further, I get it, but I would start to really consider implementing my plan of like, let's start to get out at around 120K, 130K. And remember, it could spike even harder if we get a ton of interest at that time, which is definitely likely. But I'm thinking at around 120 to 130. I want to see where we react getting there, and then I'll start to assess from that point. I don't think we're doing a 300K Bitcoin. I don't think a 400. I don't think a 500. Do I ever look at fundamentals? Definitely. I definitely do. I guess I look at it like, say, Michael Saylor saying, where else could I put my money? Yesterday's video I put up last night, maybe people didn't like the thumbnail. Maybe they didn't like the title. I don't know. But that video specifically, it's short too. It's like 10 minutes or whatever, 11 minutes. I go through and compare Bitcoin to Google, Facebook, Tesla, the NASDAQ, gold, Amazon, right? And then you can clearly see which one has been performing on a chart. One of them would surprise you, and can let the bag out of the cat. It's the cat out of the bag. Wow. I mean, Elon Musk is on the thumbnail, and so Tesla has been doing quite well compared to Bitcoin. And yes, I do look at fundamentals. Basically, I was looking at that compared to, say, the way Michael Saylor looks at the market, where it's like, where else could you put your money to get these returns? Bitcoin seems to have all of the good fundamental reasoning for it. The purpose of buying alts is to get, my purpose is to get more Bitcoin. You trade on them. A lot of retail is in alts, and then you basically just flip them when they spike, get rid of them, and come back to it later. Oh, triggered. Go and watch it. Jeez. Subscribe to comment. So if you guys are here and you want to comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you've liked. I don't think I've asked anyone to like yet. Go down there, like it, subscribe, bell notification icons. Twitter, Instagram. I'm looking at your comments. Dark Horse looks like this is the sort of FUD posting that you want to be looking at. No picture, random name, only negative comments. Check. Nah, I don't think so, Sarah. Do you think there's a correlation between crypto prices and the threat of COVID? What do you think will be happen when COVID isn't a global issue anymore? If we get one of those black swan events like we did 2020, March 2020, we had the COVID crash, then yes, the markets are going to all tank. But I love those tanks are the best when they spike really hard and then they come back. They usually bounce back nice and quick. But once this is all cleared up, I think markets will probably go pretty hard up, in an upwards direction, which they already have, the stock markets. But we're going to have to see where the crypto cycle works out within that, because we have a lot of cycles within one major cycle. A stock market real estate cycle is about 18.6 years. But the crypto market, we've seen 4 years, we've seen 8 years, we've seen 6 years, we've seen all these smaller cycles. So we're going to see one full cycle probably within the next decade. We're already 12 years in. We've got to see what happens in the next 10 years, and then we can start to map out a macro cycle for Bitcoin. Look, any of these other cryptos, I would, again, just look at the Bitcoin value. Look at their BTC chart. VET, I believe, would be on a very heavy downtrend, and it's definitely not something that I'd be looking at right now. VET BTC, yeah. Go look at a VET BTC chart. I'm not bringing it up. That's homework for you. Look at all the charts that we've looked at so far. Maybe. So yeah, if you guys want to join us in the Investor Accelerator, we have the Investor Accelerator Lite Patreon membership. It is still at the discounted price for the first 500 people. There's about 175 spots left at the discounted price. It's $39 per month. We go over weekly video, weekly report, exclusive posts, exclusive interviews. There's a ton of value within that membership. 39 US per month. After that point, and that's lifetime. So as long as you stay with it, that's the price. After that, it's 59 US. Link to that is down below. If you want to stake your Cardano, link to that is down below as well. Use the Investor Accelerator pool. We just got 14.4 million ADA dropped into our pool from the Cardano Foundation, which is pretty cool. What do you think about deflation and all the market crashes? I look at it as an overall cycle. So an 18.6 year cycle, which I follow the book back here. This is the Secret Life of Real Estate and Banking. You can find a link to that book in the description as well. That's from an Aussie economist, Phil Anderson. You don't have to use the links. It's just like an Amazon link so you can find the book. Go and find it yourself. I don't care if you use it for affiliate deals or not. Doesn't matter. The book is very, very handy to understand the cycle and what's going on next, looking at deflation, inflation, whatever's happening with money printing. The main thing is the cycle is in an uptrend at the moment into about mid-2020s. I found that one of the best ways to understand what's going on because it just cuts all of the noise about trying to understand what's happening here, what's happening there, how is that going to work in with US and China, and what's going on in business over here and tax tariffs over there. Like, I just don't need to worry about any of that stuff. The cycle does what the cycle needs to do. All of those news pieces fit in within the cycle to explain, how we're getting to that point. It's a fantastic book, and I've been talking about it for a very, very long time on the channel. You can go back and see interviews that I've done with Property Share Market Economics, which Phil founded. That's with Akil and Kathy. And people are now starting to read that book, and I've been seeing it on my Instagram. You guys can jump over there, daily Q&As, and people are reading it saying, thank you very much. It's a fantastic book. It's the best. What is it, $70? People will be like, whoa, that's expensive for a book. If you go to uni or spend any money in education, thousands of dollars on courses, that is going to be the best investment you'll ever get for $70. Some stupid channels like Crypto Banter were promoting altcoins last week. I pity all the followers. I mean, I hear you. I see the titles, whether it's their channel or something else's or Twitter or whatever. And I mean, that's the sort of stuff that I get triggered. I'm like, why are these people doing it? Maybe sometimes they're actually speaking like I do. I've got some titles which I want to grab people's attention, or thumbnails or whatever. I am thinking about changing up my thumbnails and just making them so much more basic, but that's another story. But maybe they're just grabbing people's attention and trying to help. I don't know, but I think a lot of the time, a lot of these things are for clicks and views and everything else that goes on out there. And I'm not buying altcoins. I've said that. I've showed that for the last 2.5 months now. 2.5 months, easy. Even in April, I said I was getting out of some positions, but I would still test some buys at that point. But I was really starting to get a bit concerned. After that May crash, not ready yet. Bitcoin needs a lot of time. Not 3 years. Whoa, chill out. Not 3 years. Could be wrong, but I'm not really looking at a 3-year thing at the moment. What more do you get in the filter the premium? So there's a premium and there's a TI Lite. So the premium has the course. So it's still a membership, and there's a trading and investing course. We have monthly Q&As and education pieces. Extra courses are included. So we continue to create more courses around long-term investing, market psychology, mindset. We had a really good live on Thursday night that we did with the crew. That was a really good one. It was about wealth creation and, again, numbers in the markets, looking at vibrational stuff. So it's not sort of stuff that I would put on YouTube. It's a bit more, I guess, niche if people are wanting to go in that direction of learning learning a little more around the mindset and trading and investing. So yeah, you get that, and there's a Facebook group as well. We're talking about maybe shifting it to Discord, but we still got a bit of we're creating a new website. So once we get through that, that's when we'll get there. So that's the premium versus the light model. Very similar pricing, but the premium is an annual upfront, whereas the Investor Accelerator Lite is a monthly through Patreon. GPT unlocked to create short squeeze. Look, we've heard short squeezes for a very, very long time. Do you remember, like, that was even from YouTube, like influencers, which I thought had a pretty good grasp of the space. Sure, we can get things wrong. I definitely do as well. So I guess I shouldn't go out too hard here. But not understanding what you're looking at when it comes to charts and sort of saying we've seen a short squeeze. You know, the shorts went up really hard on a chart. You know, there was a lot of shorts. We're expecting a big pump. It did not happen. I posted that on Twitter. I reposted it. Just be aware of those sort of narratives that get pumped out there because they make for a good story. GBT unlock. So we started that this week already. We have tomorrow, I believe, or the next day, a lot of GBTC being unlocked, which could work in with this fall that we're seeing in the market. But I'm not going to tie myself to one particular news event to say that is what made it crash. They have a charts guy, but they perma-mute anyone who comments a question that can dampen their Hopium vibe. I didn't know that. Don't need to buy a full BTC. That is true. Awesome, Justin. Thank you very much. Staking pool, Patreon Lite. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Potentially. Discount, potentially. Yeah, I'm not going to discredit the entire thing. I just prefer to look at charts rather than get a piece of news and then say that's how I would trade on that piece of news alone, because I don't have enough data to show me it should happen all the time or what are the percentages of it not happening, etc. Like we did see it in April, May, and that did drop the market a fair bit. But could that have been other things at the same time? China bans, etc., you know? Phil Anderson stated stock market dip in October, November. Will the investor flood to crypto? No. If Phil has been on the money so tightly, it's scary. But he doesn't ever promote it really hard like that. He has his roadmap, and I read the roadmap at the beginning of every year. You know, puts it out in December. We have a look at the roadmap. He'll reference it in his weekly emails come out weekly, right? And it's so on the money. And he does this a year in advance. So if you're a few weeks off, you're a few weeks off, but you have an idea of what's coming next. But if the market falls, you know, we get a low into October, November. Remember, that doesn't have to be a low that goes beneath March 2020's low. This is just another low. An important low is basically what it's looking at. And that's why I'm saying maybe Q4 is where Bitcoin could find a bit of a bottom or at least another solid low, right? If we get that in crypto, in the stock market, I don't expect them to flood into crypto. Like it's just such a small market, and you don't expect, well, I don't expect the smart money to just go, oh, this game's boring over here, I'm going to come over to crypto. Because when the market tanks, that's the best time to be playing, because that's when the volatility is up and that's when the traders want to be playing. So they can't play in crypto because there's not enough people playing the game here. They have to play in the big boys game, and there's more money playing over there. So when the market tanks, it's easier to play the game when the market's being volatile. Yeah, that's kind of the way I treat a lot of this. Then when the market's looking really good, we go and play in altcoins, because my game is to get more BTC. Pi cycle top, an accurate indicator? It's shown to be. I discredit it. I'm not going to say that I was one to really jump on board with it. They work until they don't work, right? So It's not one thing that I would want to watch and only base everything on that. That's what I would say with that one. Does he really? I hadn't seen that. I have to go and look at the news after this. I've just done all my checks and that's where we're at. What if money is leaving risky assets first, crypto, then stock market, then housing? I would say that's probably how it would play out. Think about, can we relate that to the crypto market? Thinking of the crypto cycle. We get Bitcoin moving first, less risky. We get some majors moving next. A little more risky, but not as risky. So Bitcoin moving, ETH moving, then some of the major large players of crypto moving, and then you start to play in the risky stuff, trying to get big pumps, but then you get out of that risky stuff quickly, or at least the smart money does, and then you sort of move it back into the less risky stuff, some ETH, some BTC, some stable coins, and then you wait for the whole cycle to repeat again. But let me mute, block. Block? Yeah, I'm going to block. Talking about baby Bitcoin, blocked so many times. But looking at the traditional markets, the real estate market, stock markets, those cycles are heaps longer because there's a lot more money in them, ton more money in those markets. So those cycles will take more time to play out. You have to wait for like a Dogecoin chart where the market just continues to bleed out and bleed out and bleed out. You'll see that, say, with sectors which have pumped, say the marijuana sector. There's a lot of pumps in that, and then they start to bleed out, and that'll go through the cycle of different sectors. That's really hot, then it's not. For Australians, it was the buy now, pay it later, the afterpays, the zips, all these sort of things. They pumped and then they fade out, go through that cycle, and then where are they going to put that money that they've just made? They go and put it into more traditional blue chip stocks. For us, they put it into banking in Australia. So we started to see the banking shares rise. We started to see the mining stocks rise. They're the two biggest industries here. Obviously, it's different for the US. Technology is pretty big. You still have banking that's quite big. Pharmaceutical, I believe, is quite big. We only have, we got like CSL and things like that here, which are quite big. Top trending crypto of July. Well, I mean, the top, you can do top trending is easy, but top crypto that pumped was, say, like AXS. No, I'm not really, no. When I say not really, I have bought some. I think that was at around 2K, but not now. Like, it's not bad. ETH against BTC doesn't look too bad, but I'm happier and feel more comfortable just buying Bitcoin at the moment, because I don't see ETH taking off before Bitcoin. Could be wrong, but that's just the way I see it at the moment. And I don't think the cycle will repeat exactly the same as everyone else is predicting. So I am looking in between that, 20 to 30K level to see where we get a bit of a fall. So yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button down below. Can we get this feed up? I don't know what it's at. Let me know. How many likes do we have? Sub if you haven't already, so that you can XRP ? Sub so you can comment on the live streams moving forward and now if you want. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us down below. There's the Instagram, Twitter. I'll be over there. I'll post, and also Instagram daily Q&A. So go and follow on Instagram. Link is down below. Got to get more than 400. Come on, we should be at 1,000 likes. Crush it, guys. Yeah, get over to Instagram. I'll have the Q&A question up so you guys can ask some questions over there in the next 24 hours, but I just want to let people know so that they can see it on the story. Also, if you want to join the newsletter, the Investor Accelerator newsletter, you just it's free once every 2 weeks. We talk about stocks, crypto, and the real estate market. So check that out down below. Cardano, staking your Cardano. There's a link down below. That's for the Investor Accelerator pool. There's also a video down there that you can watch to show you how to stake your ADA. We just had 14.4 million. That's pretty cool, from the Cardano Foundation that delegated to our pool. I think that's what I've got for you guys. If you haven't watched the other videos on the channel, make sure you do that. Good videos over the last couple of days. And I've got some more coming up. I might get one today. I want to have a look at Chainlink in a little more detail. Shill your crypto. Shill your crypto in the chat now. Shill your crypto. And I want to see one of the majors. That's what I want to cover. I've done ADA this week already. That was a good hit. Chainlink was another that I was thinking about today because it's just been a really poor performer and what I think moving forward. I've done a fair bit on Bitcoin lately. No one's really been talking about ETH, so I didn't know if anyone was that interested. But yeah, I might put out a few more like that and change up my thumbnails, which I know a lot of people would probably love. Real estate about to bottom out too. I think we're going a little flat on real estate, which is good. I don't think it's going to dip. We're not going to see any like Harry Dent style 40% corrections. He's just, I think people see it so much that he just does not know what he is talking about anymore. Matic. I might put a full altcoin one in there because Theta has been getting crushed. Everything has been getting crushed. Matic, Sol, Matic. Some of the big ones that I love. Luna, I'm going to talk about that with a friend who does DeFi full time. DeFi Degen. 25 more likes. Bring it on. Do you buy crypto? Is that a real question? I mean, this is a crypto channel. I'm not a Hopium, let's pump your altcoin bags YouTuber. I just talk about what I'm doing. I'm not buying a ton of altcoins. I'm buying a couple here and there, but the vast majority of it is going to Bitcoin when I see the time is right. We had a Bitcoin hit on the fear and greed plan. What are you talking about? You can comment. I can see your comment. Jack, your comment's right there. What are you on about? Wyckoff analysis. Good. All right. There's some good shills. Some very good shills. TrueFi. Interesting one. Awesome, guys. That was a good stream. I'll wrap it up there and get back to you with another video tomorrow. We'll probably look at maybe the altcoins. Maybe we're going to get into get some link in there as well. Bitcoin. And I want to do another, like, what would I do with $1,000 during a bear market? Is that an interesting topic? I think it is. All right. Thanks very much for joining. I'm sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter. We've got some good stuff coming up today. And I'll see you guys at the next video. So I hope you have a great weekend. Friday nights for you guys, Saturday mornings for everyone else. Have a good one. I'll catch you at the next video. Until then, have more fun to get more done.